Let us explore how to stop doing these breakup meditations and do this instead. Oh, wrong button. Sorry, let's hit button 5. There we go. An individual on Reddit explained that their partner had broken up with them and that they had started to meditate in an effort to cope. They also explained that they meditated for about 20 minutes a pop, and that once they reached the 15-minute mark, they really seemed to plug into their sense of loss and grief. And that 5 minutes later, when their timer went off and they ended their meditation, that they felt lethargic and sad. So let's explore that. The fundamental duality cited by the Buddhas was pushing and pulling, or avarice and aversion, or dread and desire. So, as we sit in meditation and we remember a loss or imagine a potential future loss, our job isn't to shove those feelings away, nor is it to hold on to them tightly with white knuckle intensity. What then is our job? During each inhalation, our job is to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, during each exhalation, our job is to physically relax as best we can, which sets space for us to release. Now, release doesn't mean throw away. Release is passive, throwing is active. The purpose of this is not to get rid of the very real pain of loss. It is to let go of our resistance to the present moment experience. However, after the meditation session, it's very important that we meet our body's needs. And our body is there's a feature in our central nervous system that is somewhat like a thermostat, metaphorically speaking, in that, I guess, figuratively speaking is a more correct way to put it. In other words, we don't want to be too energized, but we also don't want to be too lethargic. And there's nothing wrong after meditation with meeting our body's needs. I'm neurodivergent. I have both autism and ADHD. And what's common amongst people who have ADHD is that we have difficulty producing and holding on to dopamine. So we often develop strategies to chase after dopamine. And one of the more beneficial of those strategies is exercise. And so over the decades, for I am long in tooth, I've learned how to exercise without equipment or using equipment like a door jamb or something for my pulling exercises. But we can use gentle, non-jarring calisthenics to exercise our body, which in and of itself can be very good for us. But it can be an excellent tool to help to manage our dopamine. It's good to be vulnerable during meditation. It's good to face the music, to live life deeply, not to ignore what befalls us, but to really be vulnerable to it. But then after meditation, please, please, sustainably meet your needs. Suicidal ideations are common for people who are neurodivergent. And one of the ways I kept myself alive was simply through exercise. You know, I did a lot of running in high school and junior high school and in my 20s. And those things, in fact, I remember after work in my 20s, I would put on my little Walkman and I'd listen to, I think, the second or third album of Led Zeppelin while running. And it really helped me to cope. It helped me to at least a little bit to elevate my dopamine levels. And so if you do enough push-ups, will that make the pain of uh, breakup go away? No, no, but it can help you to cope. And a surprising number of people do use exercise as a coping mechanism after a breakup. And it's to the point that it's become a bit of a stereotype. So I hope you find this helpful, and having completed the opening passage, or I should say the opening lesson of this evening's live stream, I would very much like to shift gears. It is Qui-Gon Jinn Tuesday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Renegade Lama, Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, let me rephrase it. For more than 30 years, I've harnessed my autistic special interests and my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. We turn our attention now to the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Together let us relaxingly recite. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Welcome to the first quarter of this evening's group practice, group meditation. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please bear with me, I will be right back. During each inhalation, our sympathetic nervous system helps us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice. During our exhalation, our parasympathetic nervous system helps us to physically relax and mentally release. To cooperate with this process, during each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. And during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. Together, let us practice right now. Good evening and welcome to the second quarter of this evening's group meditation. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite or real or imagine subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the crown region of our head. Let us review the mechanics of mindfulness. Every time we breathe in, thanks to the workings of our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception. You know, sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. What are we to do with all that which we notice? Why, meditate, of course. You see, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, our parasympathetic nervous system is wired to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Bearing this in mind, how can we cooperate with the process? Simple. During each inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. Now, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. I check for questions approximately once every 8 minutes or so. Welcome to the third quarter of this evening's group meditation. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle of the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the heart region of our chest. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all manner of phenomena, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. What are we to do with all that which we notice? Simple. We meditate. You see, every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired to both physically relax as well as mentally release. How are we to cooperate with this process? Simple. During each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. And during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. Together as a team, let us practice right now. Welcome to the fourth quarter of this evening's group meditation. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite or real or imagine subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice dualities, such as lack and boon, pain and bliss, scorn and praise, shame and fame. During each exhalation, we could, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we could physically relax and mentally release. Now, what is the most efficient way that we can cooperate with this process? During each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 11 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.